Yeah, I think she actually been beefing. She upset with Hove. I seen a post where she asking Jay Z, "Do you gonna let this lady and these bees do me like this?" And I think she was feeling like she tripped out on the cowboy album art cover art with the hair. I think she had beads, and Erica had beads before.
Well, I did see that. I seen that she tweeted, and I think what Erica was saying, because Erica had a picture from what I saw in the shade room, is that they showed a picture of Erica hair just like the cover that Beyonce's doing, right? And I think Erica felt the way about that, and that's when she addressed Hov, and because Erica said something before, and I'm not thinking that Beyonce is the only person, but I definitely know she said something about one of the Renaissance outfits where Beyonce had the hat, and it was like the big hat, or even like the hat, and one of Beyonce's, I can't think of which one it is, but the video, Erica had that too, and she's just starting to come off as one of those women. You know what I'm talking about? One of those women who they copying me. I don't like that, or I done that first. You can't do it type of energy. And I don't like that. I love Erica music. I love Erica, but I don't like these moments where she's feeling away. I think she should feel like proud that Beyonce, because it's not Beyonce's first time ever wearing braids or something, but the fact that she did a look that you done before, you should feel proud about that. You inspired her to do that if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Or if she wore a hat that was like yours, you should be, don't be that girl that's, they marking me, I can't support them because they marking me, because it almost comes, I think that type of attitude kind of stirs, or the root of it is like envious or jealousy. I'm not saying Erica's jealous. I'm just saying people usually that have that type of attitude, the root of it is something of that nature. Why not be the type of woman that be happy that you're inspiring people? Like if somebody take an outfit or something that I have on right now, I wouldn't feel no way. Like, okay, that's cute. I like it. I do it all the time. I take people outfits like, oh, that look cute on me. I'm gonna order that. When do they got it from? So it's like, don't be that person, Erica. Please don't. It's not cute.
It made me think of like how would a old lioness in the jungle keep marking her territory? Like would she just not just urinate at the tree anymore? I'm gonna urinate on the king. I'm gonna urinate on the male lion, so the other female lionesses, when they come through, they can know that's me. And I think Erica just trying to, mark some of her territory because some of these things she did do, and small things that we call a trend and or just something in fashion. Kind of, it is a big thing. I mean, it's not intellectual property, so you can't claim swag. You can't claim fly. You can't claim what. I mean, she did do the hat first. She did the braids first. She did the beads first. I mean, besides Stevie Wonder with the beads, as a female, it might have been Shaka Khan.
I mean, Erica's not the only person who wore braids and beads. That particular hairstyle, she did have a picture exact hairstyle, but
the exact hairstyle.
I mean, to me, it's like, what do you want? So would it be better if I say, oh, thanks, Erica, or something like, do you want recognition? Because to me, it still comes off as the type of woman who is, and I hate to say this about Erica, but bitter, jealous. That's what that to me. When women, I look at all women like that. All women who feel a way. She wore this, so I was doing that first, or she copying me type of attitude. I look at all of them in the same light. Like, you're bitter, you're jealous. Like, be the person who wants to inspire. I inspire.
Like I said,
I set trends.
I feel like since Erica can't monetize, you know what I'm saying, her swag and her style, then she do want it to just be known. Hey, y'all know that's me, right?
It's a better way to do it without. I mean, and then I guess I was still trying to figure out, like, when she did the tweet and she called out Hov, like, maybe because I guess they might have knew each other or had some dealings with the music industry other than her and Beyonce. Maybe that's why she went for him. But it's like, it's a way to do stuff to let it know that, hey, I done this too. If you just want some type of recognition, you don't have to come off as a bitter old auntie. sorry. I'm sorry, Erica. I'm sorry, but that's the energy that gives, and you that gave it a couple times with certain stuff, and it's a better way to show, hey, I did that first, because she did do a lot of things first. In the '90s, she was ahead of her time. We love her.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Late
Yeah.
90s too.
She did it.
Yeah, all of
She
it.
did
Yeah,
that.
she was different, and we love you for that. But don't be that person.
So the other night we did catch the other night we caught the Freaknik and the Freaknik documentary, and it was interesting to say the least. What did you think about it?
I like it. I mean, I liked knowing the history about it because I didn't know where it had came from. Why did they call it Freaknik? So to learn what they started, and I'll tell you something else I didn't know. I didn't know it started in the 80s. I didn't. I always thought when I think of Freaknik, I automatically think 90s. You know what I'm saying? And I like just knowing the history of where it existed from. It came from a good place. It started as a good place, and it would have been something good that continued. I do think Luke made the change that made it stop.
With Institute bringing the freaky to Freaknik.
Yes, because from what the founders were saying, that when they decided to use the word freak, it wasn't for a freaky experience or intention or sexualized.
They got it from the song Freak Out.
Yeah, which is more of a party, you know what I'm saying, or let loose, or, you know what I'm saying, be a little bit more freedom, I guess. And when he brought that in to me, I think it was bad. I think we should have never let Luke Brain come in with what that energy he had, because his music alone, by it being such a high energy, and we know how energy works. If we all know energy is around us, we can't see it. When you have him bringing that in and with the type of words with his music, it comes with a spirit of perversion. And that's where, with perversion, that spirit coming in, that's when the people who have those, I guess that's all the negativity that comes with it. You know, and all those other spirits where rape and sexual harassment and all that stuff would come in. So I think when he came in, it wasn't a good thing. He was on the documentary and he was like, somebody had to do it. But really, no, they didn't. You could have stayed where you were. We would have been really appreciated. Keep that energy in your town, in your city with all of that, because everybody was not on the term that you was on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wouldn't solely just blame it on Luke, but I definitely agree with you about those spirits, especially they call alcohol spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So that you got this spirit going on, then you got perversion going on, then of course you got incubus, succubus out here, real heavy, and you mix that in with drugs. And in adolescence, you know what I'm saying? At that time, a lot of people was young.
Right.
And then it seemed like the later you got into the 90s with the Freaknik, the older crowd started joining it. The older guys with the bag, and and it went left.
And see, I think that was a big part of it. I think that was a time where because we were 80 babies, so we kind of grew up during some of this time. So we remember the time where women didn't allow, or it wasn't a good thing to let everything hang out. There was a saying leave something for imagination.
Yeah.
Or, the sexual part of it, people had a little bit more respect for you. It wasn't known, women that did oral sex and this and that, we didn't, just tell you about it. Like, it was something that was special if you got it. And we didn't really talk about it, that during that time. And then we transitioned to a period to where things changed to where everything was more vocalized, when it comes to your sexuality, sex, women being, there was some parts on there where women was like, we're only here for a week, so we just decided, we're going to choose what we want to and let you know this is what we're going to do. I mean, I'm not going to see them no more, so it kind of got more. And when you got that transition going on, and you bring that type of energy that Luke came with, that's why I'm putting it on him. It's not a good thing. Now, when you have that type of energy going on and it comes with the energy they had at first, oh, it's just black people getting together. It's like a big old cookout type of, energy. We're getting along. It's good to see us doing some stuff. It's positive. You might have some people, they're dressing this because they could get away with it. You know what I'm saying? We don't normally do this, but mom and them not here is more, you know what I'm saying? It's a little freedom. So you're having fun. And then when you take that fun along with all those other spirits, yeah, it turns into something else. And I think he's the reason that it ended. And I don't think he was a good reason or a part of it. And I'm sorry. It is what it is. That's how I feel.
Like they definitely tried to make emphasis on the fact that this is a spring break thing. Spring break Daytona, spring break Panama, spring break Miami. These kids can't afford to go there. Like some of the founders said, it originated because they couldn't afford to even go home for spring break. Mm-hmm. So it made sense to me, and it kind of turned into the Black Spring Break.
Mm-hmm.
Spring break normally is done on the beaches, but Georgia got Georgia peaches. I think that was one of the little things they said on the dock. Yeah, and I did like that. And so it was a kid thing. And when we go on the spring break, we do hang out a little bit more and hang a little bit looser than we normally do. Like you said, certain things that I can't get away with wearing in my normal community wherever I come from. I get away with it here. Mom don't see me. Nobody's here. This is not the cell phone era. This is not the Instagram, social media era.
Right.
This, you know what I'm saying. So I'm not. I didn't think the kids were doing anything wrong. It's just that as the years went by, it turned into something that it wasn't. That it never was.
It's no different. I mean, than going to the beach. There are certain things I will wear in the beach.
All that happens at the beach down there with the privileged kids going to, spinning a bag, getting a nice room, getting a balcony, wilding all the way out, drinking real good, a lot of drugs involved. It's the 90s. No internet. Do you know what Billy Bob them down there doing on the beach? I do.
All I'm saying is, it's no different. I will go to the beach and wear certain stuff. That energy was not different then. The energy change or the perception change or the behavior change when you bring in type of music and people who all they think about is sex and telling you to pop your pussy and don't stop, get it. And you bringing that in with this, you know what I'm saying, then yeah, it's going to change. You're going to have some people who are perverted. You're going to have some people who are over-sexualized. You're going to have the disrespected because his music is disrespectful. I'm just saying. So all of that mixed in with the looks. Now you might have some look this and that before he came, true enough, but it was not enough to where it outdid, you know what I'm saying, it was being able to control. But when you add him in there, I'm sorry, Luke did not do Freaknik no justice. I wish he would have never came because I feel like if he never came and brought that type of energy and music to it and we kept it strictly South with what we had going on, it could be still going on now and you could still have a place like Black Beach or what they be doing in what's the New Orleans? So
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. They would still have the Mardi Gras. I mean, we would still have it. It's no different from that. We could have still had that in Georgia, but when you bring all that extra stuff and people coming down there that's, we should have kept it strictly, we didn't need him. I'm sorry.
I agree with, I feel you, but I agree to disagree with you on that because I just don't think one person or Luke energy, and he is the South. He the bottom of the map. So I don't completely agree with you on that, but I do know what you're saying about that energy that Two Loud Crew came with. That the energy that the other kids gonna come knowing that there's gonna be there. I see what you're saying.
Now you're bringing other stuff in.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, but you're not bringing other things in because the kids from wherever was gonna come down here anyway for spring break. All the black kids was coming here.
They were, but they wasn't coming with the intention of, I'm about to go get this or do that. When he came, then you had those type of people who were into that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Coming in, now you got people that's not from Atlanta raping girls and doing all this other stuff because those type of people probably when they came, I'm not gonna go deal with the college because they don't want to get arrested, they don't want to do that. But when you got this going on and you talking like this and you got this type of music, yeah, I'm going because this is what I do.
But it seemed to doubling, tripling population as the years went by. So it started with 50 kids. I want to say it might have ended up with 500,000 black college students. I could be tripping. I can't remember that number. But I know they were saying like 250,000 students was entering the city, saying that it was bringing in 15 million just over a week span. So I said that to say that they were, it just got bigger and it got out of control. It just got out of control. Like you said, people coming down to the city feeling like they can get away with this, that, and the third because I'm leaving in a week. There is no footprint or no fingerprint I'm leaving. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no social media. And so I get what you're saying. But it was that like inevitable for it to go too far? Because you're bringing in, the event was getting bigger and bigger every year.
I think, and that reminds me. So I do think Luke played a part of why Freaknik is not around. I think he played a big part. But I think the biggest part was when you have that type of energy and now the police and them, I remember the part where they're routing them and this and that. I don't think and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the raping and all the crime stuff escalated until they got involved, called themselves helping. Now you're around these people who's not from this town. They're in and around at gas stations and parts of Atlanta that you just went to before when you stayed on the main strips.
I feel like the police weren't trying to help. It was a money thing. They won the Olympic grab in '96. And the Olympics bring in $2 billion versus Freaknik brings in $15 million. It's a no-brainer. They didn't want to help. They rerouted the kids to the interstate, basically, so you can get back on home. There was no, how they made a strip. The first years they showed you on the map, on the documentary, how they made a strip and the kids ride the strip. Everybody ride the strip, be in a park that kind of looked like the New York Central Park area joint, a lot of land, really nice. Yeah, downtown. So they ended that. They didn't try to help. They tried to push those people out and the kids got mad. You know what I'm saying? We seen in the doc, the kids was like, hey, we don't know what's going to happen if, we come down here for fun and the law acting out like this. We don't know what's going to happen. So, things happen.
I didn't think it helped. But like you said, they wanted to end it, so they wasn't trying to help.
They wanted to end it.
I think a lot of the crime happened when they got involved.
I think it was a nice 10-year run from 83 to 94, so that's 11 years. They had a nice 11-year run. A lot of the people were saying the best year, it was 94. I was 10, I remember that year. As it got closer to the Olympics and past the Olympics, it was basically over with.
Yeah, all that new stuff. By the time, I think what was the last one? 99?
Yeah, they said people weren't even coming.
Yeah, by the time 99 came, it had changed to something else. It was already about dead. And I don't think they should try to revive it. Like these new kids, I didn't like that. I didn't like who was that child? 21 or somebody?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I didn't really care for him. Like, first of all,
he don't know nothing about it. I didn't even understand it.
Are you younger than me?
The doc did that for Cap, basically as an intro to grab you, bring you in for the first 2 minutes, because that's about all the time he had on it. I mean, he didn't have any knowledge of. There's no way he could have.
There's no way he could have.
Yeah.
I mean, even for me to watch it as young as I was, it was like, I remember them hairstyles I had wore that. Oh, I remember my big sister had said that. Oh, I remember this music from listening to, being around. Because, when Atlanta had that thing going like the Freaknik, that's when the smaller cities, like we, here in Decatur, Alabama, we had our little versions and stuff. We had the Pines and people do that. You got
my mom used to get her hair did, and I remember the older ladies who did hair going talking about the hair show in Atlanta, and every year it's Freaknik, all that.
So that time brought back memories for us. So if you younger than me, you definitely don't know nothing. And whatever y'all trying to do, it would never be Freaknik and that experience that these people experience, even down to the people that were our age during this time, hearing about it or even being around it.
I think the biggest reason it could never be what it was is because people don't live in the moment. People gonna be in Freaknik like this, and so she's not gonna dance. She's not gonna do this, that, and the third because she knows it's gonna be aired. She know, you know what I'm saying? And even though I know the kids done got looser and wilder and don't really kind of, care as much as kids used to, but it just ain't gonna be the same thing. You can't just have your undivided attention at the event, enjoying it in real time without this social media thing basically pushing it. So
social media, I think, kills a lot of stuff. Social media to me took away the fun of getting to know or to bond or to enjoy, like you said, live in the moment. It takes away from that, because how can I enjoy living the moment when I got to worry about you? Is you filming me, or take your camera off of me? You can't do that. So it's a different time. That time has passed. You'll never get it back. And I wish these young kids would stop trying to redo everything, and they don't know what they're doing. So
let's go ahead and move forward, man, to the Nick doc, because this Doc versus Doc, and the Freaknik doc was awesome. It's just that the Nick doc got so dark. The Nick documentary got so dark, the second episode, and it threw me off. Dan Schneider, executive producer for Nickelodeon, creator of basically all the fly shows the shows that our kids watched, or some of the shows, a lot of the shows that people in our generation might have watched. I didn't watch Nickelodeon, but he had weird, sadistic, sexual, over sexualized jokes with kids. He wilded out a good bit. He had a couple staff members on hand. I think a kid handler and a coach, both accused same year of sexual assault on one of the kids on set.
They were pedophiles.
What did you think about the Nick doc?
With him having pedophiles as employees on there, these kids I can only imagine, as a child, you've been told. So when your mind is young, you don't see things as adults would see it. So you would have thought that adults would have had something to say, but I guess this Dan had so much power, so people were scared to say something to him, including the parents, which was weird to me. And then you go back and you look at it, and it's like, I can't believe this man had me doing this, or, oh, I get what they were trying to say. And it's almost, to me, like Dan target an audience that weren't really children. I'll put it like that. And the fact that he had employees on there, even though he wasn't convicted, I still think he's a pedophile in his own way. I think some of the stuff that he had going on with the children, that amount the girl, was a little too much. It was definitely borderline, but it sounded like everything he did was borderline. And he just never got caught up. And I believe those people was his friends. People, what they say, birds of a feather flock together, right? Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. So he, it was sad. I think it was sad. It was touchy. My heart went out to all, just watching them and hearing some of these, adults that were on the show. The adults now, but were children then, that was on the show, was kind of heartbreaking, and it made me think about all kids in entertainment.
Yeah. I think it made everybody think about all kids in entertainment. This 4-part documentary on the investigation, discovery, during the 90s and late 2000s, in early 2000s, I think they was over-sexualizing children. They got this one guy, Brian Peck. They called him the Pickle Man. You remember that part?
Yeah, I told you when I heard the Pickle Man. I said he like little boys.
I was like, nah.
I said the other one,
like, he seems so nice.
He like boys. You get what grown man don't want to be known as a pickle man that totes pickles and
that's a weird Dan Schneider humor. He's not. Brian Peck wasn't. He was just a dialogue coach, if I'm not mistaken. So of course, if I'm a dialogue coach and I get any time to get on TV, and then Dan Schneider, the man for real, tell me to, what I'm saying? It's humor. That's what I thought. On episode 2, about the middle of episode 2.
I think Dan knew wasn't him and Brian friends, and somewhere their friends kind of they friendship got weird. So the fact that Dan thought that was humor and thought it was okay, and he knew to ask his friend to do this because he knew they pedophiles to me. That's what I got from all of them was pedophiles, including Dan, even though he was not charged. And
pedophiles.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Either way, they all were. And the fact that he was okay to ask him to be able to put pickles in your mouth and go feed grown men's pickles and this and that, it was some weird stuff going on. It was weird. It was sad and disgusting to look at.
It was really weird. The part that, of course, that I related to the most was the black kid and it putting testes and shaft and balls on his both shoulders and on his nose. He had to also play. It was another black kid and or the same black kid, a cookie salesman, but like he was a crack dealer. It was a crack dealing cookie salesman kid, and then I think the same black kid had to play Boo Boo, and they told him I think he was traumatized from them telling him that it needed to be a charcoal color or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, his outfit. Yeah, it was the outfit one. It was the peanut butter and the dog licking for me. What human? It was just all sick, and the fact that it went on for so long, and we just up under our eyes, and nobody really said or spoke up. It's just sad.
Yeah, I also think he played a rapper on there as well. It was something degrading about that as well. It's just.
All of it was.
Like, that was crazy, just, And this black kid, in the situation he in, he feel like he need to do this, you know what I'm saying? I'm helping mom, dad out, or whatever his situation was. I'm bringing in some bag. I don't want to not keep bringing in bag. So, I guess they cooperated, but that was pretty weird. Ariana Grande, they think she gave fellatio basically to a potato, and then the cum shot.
It was so many parts that was not.
It was a bunch of cum shots.
A lot of it. The slime, the sugar. It was just so many. All the damn work was just so borderline and nasty now when you look at it for it to be a kid show. Okay, so when you're dealing with children and stuff, you got these different ages they're still finding themselves and this and that. So it was one part where one of the black boys was saying, they didn't make it to the next season or something, and they felt the way. And it kind of reminded me of, when you're trying out for basketball or cheerleading or, those type of things and the disappointment. So imagine that heightened 10 times more because you're providing, you're getting money for this, and you're known. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine that emotion, and then how that can bring a division between parents and the child. But I still don't understand how parents or any adult will be around children when we're supposed to be the protection of children. I don't care how much money they can bring you. You're not supposed. I just don't see how you can overlook a lot of stuff. It was another one. Whatever the other guy that liked the little girls that got convicted.
Jason Handy.
Him.
Production assistant.
When they said something about him going to the house playing video games in her room and what he had said, I couldn't understand. My mind couldn't wrap around, why was this grown man in this girl room? Why was her parents okay with him being in this room? I think if a grown person, I don't care if they work together, if you can get my child on or anything, no. Why do you want to go and play video games with my child? What is wrong with you?
If I'm not mistaken, when the authorities did apprehend Mr. Handy and entered his apartment or home, they found Ziploc bags of child paraphernalia, and they called the mother, who her and her daughter just quit. They quit. Remember that part? Mm-hmm. And they called her and said, "Hey, we want to, notify you that a package, a Ziploc bag with your daughter's name had been found." And that's when I believe she let the authorities know that he sent my daughter an inappropriate photograph through email, which I didn't understand how the mother was really even not checking the emails. I don't want a 30-year-old emailing my 13-year-old.
I
You know
don't
what
care
I'm
if he
saying?
can get on a show. And it was like,
It
I
was
applaud her for wanting to speak up for her child now, but I couldn't understand because she said it was a decision like, do I let people know or are they going to look at me crazy or do I just, and she chose just not to say nothing. I think if I found a new video, email, I'm letting whoever he worked for know.
It was an inappropriate photo of his private.
Yeah, so either way, I feel like she should let everyone know and not wait to now. I mean, but I applaud her for doing it now. But when they even said, okay, so I like to watch a lot of the Criminal Minds, all those criminal shows. Those were trophies. That's what they call trophies when people, all those Ziploc bags and stuff, those are trophies what they have of their victims.
Yeah, tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going to the other mother, the mother of the black kid that played Lil Fetus. That was the name of the rapper that he had to play. The black mother was unwanted on set. The son was fired because of the mother. In my opinion, I watched the doc. Did you watch the doc? We both came to the same conclusion, right? I think that the kid got fired because of the mother was on set and she was actually raising every issue like a parent should.
Why did this have to be? Why is he doing that? Why y'all choosing him to do this? She asked a lot of questions, which I think is partly played the reason, which we both said, why he didn't make it to the next season. But I think she probably helped save that child's life from a lot of stuff that was going on.
She saved her son's life.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was still traumatized from some of the roles that he had to play. I think they said he was a growing young kid, and they made him put on the all spandex joint. I don't know if he had on underwear or not, but he said he was very uncomfortable with that. But I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Then he said he didn't want to put peanut butter on him to let dogs lick peanut butter off of I'm already black. I'm putting peanut butter on. The dog might eat me. My God.
Well, not only that, I think when they showed that scene of him being licked, I think as a child he was there and he said, I don't like this. It's very sad. I want to kind of touch back on, no, not tokens, babe. They are trophies. When you're dealing with criminals and they do that, those trophies they call them trophies because it represents something that they have achieved. Now, I don't know what his achievements was from all that, but it's scary to even think about it.
Yeah. The next thing about that doc was emancipated minors. An emancipated minor is someone who has legally deemed an adult by a court in his or her state of residence. So they've been deemed a legal adult. So basically, so I can cut off my parents and Hollywood can have their way with me and my bag, everything. So parents on set are worried about being emancipated. They say, I'm hearing that they already separating the parents from the kids in the show. They basically don't want parents on set in Hollywood. For children.
Wasn't it that Jason guy that was the one who led the children away? The mom said to do the tour and then he takes the kids and lead the parents and stuff, and he was the one interacting like that.
I think he took kids on set, let kids know when it was time to go on set, and he did several different things. He was just an assistant, he done a lot of things.
Sick. And
yeah.
Even with that, the fact that Dan was trying to encourage the kids to get that separation from their parents, I just think, listen to the whole documentary, everything that went on. My mind can't understand how did it go on for so long. And then it automatically goes to what children have to go through with entertainment. That's what I got from it. And I can only imagine, because most of the people that we watched as children growing up as entertainment, they are adult life, even if the ones that are successful, like still doing movies now, or not, end up having some type of issues.
Yeah, the kid that Brian Peck, if I'm not mistaken, if I didn't mess his name up, the kid that he sexually assaulted and was 04, did 16 months only, came out and back writing, back on set in Hollywood for kids. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the kid that he affected, I think that kid was end up with alcohol, drugs. I think he got something with a minor as well. So it trickled down.
It's not only that it trickled down, but all of them end up with some type of drugs. Like I said, issues. The support that man had for people, right? That's how he was able to get back in there. They're writing letters and all this type of stuff. And I couldn't understand why would you hire these
And when I seen some of the people that they were showing was writing the letters, it made me like, dang, y'all wilding out. You know, a couple actors that I actually used to like. All right, in other news, Kendrick Lamar, this is Drake and J. Cole on Future's new album with Metro Booming. I think the song's called "Like That," and you know, Michael Jackson outlived Prince. What do you think about it? The diss.
I loved it. Um, it was funny because we watched the skit, but we really did that. When you came and told me about it, because I was already up with the baby, with my grandbaby, and the first thing I said, I paused it. Babe, is this Master P beat or a Cash Money beat?
It was a Cash Money beat, classic Cash Money beat. Shout out to Metro Boomin for doing what he did to that beat. Wonderful beat. I really enjoyed Future's verse. And then when I heard, you know, Kendrick, I was like, oh my God, like I just kept rewinding it. I said, man, did he really just shoot at those guys like that? Yes, he just shot at those guys like that. No, there's no big three. There's only big me.
I love that it was no sneak dissing.
No sneak dissing.
You know, I'm all for straightforward, call it what it is. Don't be, you know, if you didn't really dress me, then it's not really real. And I like that he addressed who exactly who he wanted to address, and I loved it.
Yeah, Kendrick fell away. Cole and Drake, I think Cole did join the tour at the end of the Drake tour. You know, they did that song, can't think of the name. I apologize, audience. And, you know, you said it, and it is a big three, and you feel like Muhammad Ali. That's a J. Cole bar, and you know those are war words. I hate that it took these boys to be in their mid-30s to shoot for the crown for real. But this is wonderful for hip hop, and let the best man win. Kendrick, he different, but J. Cole been in the studio real heavy for the last X amount of months or years right now. And everything J. Cole say is for the crown.
I like all three of these guys. I like Drake, I like J. Cole, I like Kendrick Lamar. But I am kind of rooting for Kendrick. I just see him, that's who I'm rooting for. I'm looking forward to see how they're gonna respond. That
I want to hear the Drake comeback, and I know J. Cole was on his bike the other day when he heard it and rode to the studio immediately on the bike. Yeah, I just can't wait to hear J. Cole response and Drake response. And moreover, Kendrick's reply to their responses.
I'm just looking forward to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah, the crown will be figured out in 2024. Finally, it's been a while, you know.
And we know good music is going to come from this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Real rap. Because some of this new stuff I just can't.
Yeah. So, hey, if you guys got any value out of the show, like, subscribe, and watch this next one for us, guys. Thanks. That's Major.